Hi, this is Scott Handy again with Mr. Water. In this video we're going to discuss acid neutralizers, their purpose, why you need one, how to fill them, and their major components. As you can see, what we have here is a very large acid neutralizer. This is a 1665 tank. This is actually a commercial size tank. This is the largest tank that you can buy. They just don't make them any larger. This tank with the valve is about 6 foot 3 inches high. It is about 4.5 cubic feet. As you can see, it is a very large system. This particular customer's got some very acidic water. The reason they purchased this system is they didn't want to have to fill it very often. The problem with acid neutralizers in a lot of cases is that they're just too small. You know, among other things, they may have a black tank, may have a blue tank. The tank may be this particular color, but it's you can't see through it with a flashlight. In a minute here I'm going to shut the lights off in the room and put a light behind it and show the level in the tank, which is right about at the refill line. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to unscrew the valve, going to get up close, show you the material in the tank, and show you how to fill it, how to service it, and just the ins and outs of the system. Alright, I got my camcorder here in my hand, and I'm going to move around the system here nice and slow so you can get a close-up of what the system looks like. I'm not a professional filmmaker, but I'll do my best. What we've got is a well system, of course. I put in a new well tank for the gentleman when he ordered the system. What we have is a submersible pump. The pump's in the backyard, and we have a well tank which I put in. Incidentally, this whole system is about 3 years old. We put it in 3 years ago, and because of the size of the system, it's taken 3 years to go from the full line down to the refill line. And I haven't measured it exactly, but it's about probably about 15 inches, and you know, that's quite a bit of neutralizer, you know, and it's an arbitrary line. You know, I test the water and determine where the line really needs to be. You know, and also I fill it a little bit more now, so I put 4.5 cubic foot on the system. It's really closer to 5. You know, this particular system, of course, like I said, it's been 3 years since I filled it. But, you know, I have a customer that, I'm in Imesville, Maryland right now, by the way. And I have a customer in Potomac, Maryland, who goes through this much in 7 months. And, you know, the pH here is about 5.8, 5.9. You know, it's an average size house. So the water usage isn't extreme, but you know, it keeps the water usage pH at a constant level, and it doesn't fluctuate, and you know, it does a very, very good job. So what I'm going to do now is get up on a ladder and show you a close-up of the valve and all the related components. Okay, I'm up on my ladder, and my head's just about touching the ceiling, but you're looking down on the top of the system here, and I'm going to move the camcorder around so you can see the side of the valve, you can see the bypass, you can see the backwash line here, which is going over to the drain. So when the system goes through through the backwash cycle and then the fast rinse cycle, that's where the dirty water goes when it cleans itself. This particular system, this is the Ultra Performa valve. This is a time clock model. They've they're now making the a version that has a digital readout, so they're not making this style any longer, but this is actually a very good valve, very reliable. This particular mechanism on the front, I really love. I wish they would stick with this, but the digital readout I've kind of gotten used to. But you know, it's simpler for people to understand. That's probably why they're making it now. But as you can see, I'm going to get up close here. Hopefully it stays in focus. This is a very durable valve. Flows very high flow rates. And kind of makes my job easy because I just don't have any issues. And as you can see, this tank is very well made, and it's got a lot of life left in it. Of course, it's only been in for 3 years. A system like this you should easily get 20 years out of, and quite a bit more if you take care of it and keep it repaired. Okay, what we got there is a carbon filter. This carbon filter is after the system. This takes organic chemicals out of the water, pesticides, herbicides. In this particular case, there was a leaking gas station storage tank in the area, about 1.5 miles away, that released MTBE in the water, which is methyl tertiary butyl ether, which has been known to cause cancer. It's not necessarily in the water in this well or in this neighborhood, but carbon filter is the best way to prevent problems like that. And you know, you can just change the filter yourself, toss it in the garbage, and you know, they're widely available, and you can get them online. And it's you know, it's a system that you know, we put these filters in after every system we install. So anyway, this is a look from the system from above, and what I'm going to do next is start servicing the system and show you how to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you. This is a riser tube that goes down the center of the tank, and this is from a previous system. Of course, this is longer and it extends up into the valve, and this is got a basket on the bottom. All water treatment systems have this. So just wanted to show you what was down the center of the tank before I did anything else, give you a perspective of that. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the lights off in the room and put the light behind it, and go ahead and show you the level of everything. Of course, it's been 3 years since I've filled it, and so I filled it up to about here, and it's gone to about here in about 3 years, which is about average. Some people go through it in 2, some in 1.5 years. It just depends on water usage. The secret is to make sure that your toilets don't run, your faucets don't drip, you don't leave the hose running endlessly in the yard, and you do your best to conserve water. You know, of course, you've got to live your life and you know, use water as you need to, but you know, this is in this particular case, with, you know, his particular water characteristics, this is how quickly he went through it. I'm going to fill it up to about here, and that's going to be somewhere between 4.5 and 5 cubic feet. And what I'm going to do next, I'm going to show you what goes in the tank, and then I'm going to take everything apart, and we're going to go from there. Okay, the first thing you want to do is turn a faucet on in the house, And then that valve right there, which is the main valve, you want to go ahead and shut that off. Okay, the water's off. Everything's been depressurized. So in the interest of time, I'm going to try to speed this up as much as possible. Shut the water off to the house. Put the system in bypass. You want to unplug it. Unscrew the connections. You're going to get a little bit of water on the floor. I got the rag down on the floor. That can't be avoided. So don't let it worry you. Okay, so we're getting the bypass out. Go ahead and set it aside. Try not to lose the O-rings. They definitely have a mind of their own. The backwash line needs to come off. So you want to go ahead and cut it off with a utility knife. I've done this a million times, so I'm kind of making it look easy. Alright, so you want to go ahead and spin the valve off. Keep it spinning. Most important thing is you don't want to pull the riser up. That can cause a problem. So I've installed this in a way, I won't give away my secret, where the riser is not going to pull up. So anyway, off comes the valve. I'm going to set the valve aside. And that's that. Okay, so next, what you want to do before you do anything else, very important, is you want to take a stopper, you want to put a stopper in the top of the riser right here before you do anything else. You don't do that and you forget, you go ahead and fill it, and you fill that riser full of material, you are going to have a nightmare on your hands. You fill that riser up with neutralizer, that stuff is going to clog up. You won't have any water. You'll have to keep it in bypass. Take this system completely out, dump it out all the way, and start over. Avoid that headache and do that first. So you want to go ahead and take a garden hose, siphon all the water out. Alright, I'm siphoning the water out. As you can see, the water can be a little bit cloudy when you take it out. That's fine. So, just go ahead and siphon the water down to about where you're going to refill it. And that's about it for that part of it. Okay, what you're looking at here on top of this cardboard box is what actually goes in an acid neutralizer. What you have here is water conditioning gravel. It's washed gravel made specifically for water treatment systems. That goes in first at the bottom. It actually covers the bottom of the distributor I showed you earlier. It's there to prevent the neutralizer material from clogging up the distributor, and it keeps the flow rate up, and it's very important to have that stuff in there. What you have here is calcite. This is ground up limestone. It's this is the stuff that is actually the what actually neutralizes the acidic properties of the water. It is a kind of soft kind of calcite. This is the kind of calcite that I like to use. It's very, very good. This is magnesium oxide. This is manufactured. You mix this and this together. Magnesium oxide is a carbon dioxide scavenger. A lot of companies don't use magnesium oxide when they service and install acid neutralizers, and that's a big mistake, because without magnesium oxide, your acid neutralizer is not going to work as well. It's going to dissolve more readily. With the magnesium oxide inside the acid neutralizer, the material is going to last a lot longer. It's going to keep the pH at a more uniform level, and it's going to make the neutralizer just work a lot better. So what you really do is you just take this stuff and you mix it with this stuff. You mix it together. You know, based on experience, you just know how much of this stuff to add, how much to mix. And so what you do, you just mix this stuff together, and you pour it in the tank, and that's really all there is to it. Magnesium oxide is kind of difficult to get. So is water conditioning control, or water conditioning gravel. So you know, this is why you really need to leave this stuff up to your water conditioning professional and let him do the work to make sure it's done right. So a lot of people have asked me to do a video about this to show exactly what's in an acid neutralizer, and there you go. Okay, we're looking down inside the tank now. I've siphoned all the water out. I hope you can see pretty clearly that there is some iron staining on top of the mineral, which is normal. Acid neutralizers are very, very important if you have copper piping in the house. If you don't have an acid neutralizer and you have acidic water, you're in for big trouble, because it will indeed eat all the piping in the house. So acid neutralizers will prevent the blue-green staining, and you know, if you don't have an acid neutralizer and you have copper pipes and you have acid water, you definitely need to get a system. So anyway, you're looking down inside the tank. You can see the water levels down, and it's ready to be filled. So we're going to go ahead and do that next. Okay, we're going to fill it now. So I'm going to go ahead and put my funnel in. I went ahead and poured some bleach down the center of the riser tube. I didn't show that, but you want to pour some bleach down the center of the riser tube to disinfect the tank before you do anything. That's always a good idea. So anyway, I've got a square bucket here. You want to go ahead and fill your tank. Make sure that stopper's in there. I can't stress that enough. If you don't put that stopper in there, like I say, you're going to be a miserable experience, because you're going to have all kinds of problems. So this is what you do to fill it. A little bit of a workout, but this is it. I'm not going to show you the whole thing in the interest of time, but that's it. Okay, after working up a little bit of a sweat, I got the thing filled. You can see I got it full right about here. It's going to settle a little bit, so you know, I do fill them up pretty good. Make sure you lube everything up real good with silicone lube. Threads here, riser tube, all the O-rings. Make sure you use silicone lube, not silicone caulking. So you want to go ahead and screw the valve back on. Naturally, you want to take the plug out that you put in the top of the riser. That's a given. Be pretty tough to get the valve back on if that was on, but you know, anything's possible. So go ahead and line everything back up. Bypass. Alright, got your bypass together. Tighten everything up hand tight only. Don't want to over tighten anything. That's a big no-no. You don't want to use a wrench. You want to use your hands on these Auto-Trol valves. This plastic's very well made. You know, once it's seated, it's seated. You really don't need to over tighten anything. If you need to tighten it up with a wrench, you got a problem somewhere. So don't over tighten with a wrench. Alright, put it back into, make sure that everything's moving. Alright, hand tighten, snug everything up, take and put your drain back on. I'm going to go ahead and put a tie strap around that, secure that real good, make sure it doesn't come off. Okay, so we're ready to go ahead and flush the system out. So what you want to do, you want to push the button in, turn it around, put it into backwash, and you know, you always want to check your work real close before you turn the water on so you don't spray water everywhere and get wet. After all, it's February outside. So drain line's on, everything's connected. So it looks like we're ready to turn the water back on. So you want to turn the water back on very slowly when you turn the water back on. So you want to go down here to the well tank, turn the water on slowly, let it fill slowly. Because you got to remember the mineral in this tank's dry. It's not saturated with water. So if you turn it on too quick, I'm going to go ahead and shut the light off real quick so you can see up close what's going on. So the material in there is dry. You don't want all that stuff to come flying up and clog the valve up. It'll come out. In another segment, I'm going to show you how to unjam one of these valves if that was to happen. But this is how you fill this slowly. See the water slowly rising. The material's still staying down here. Now this stuff's really powdery. So that's why we're doing this slow. You got to backwash this powdery stuff out. You can see the powdery stuff's going to start coming out here, and it's going to look a little bit cloudy here. So there you go. See how kind of cloudy it is? But that's going to clear up. So you know, you want to run it. You want to run it a little while with the pressure a little bit low, and till this stuff gets kind of saturated, you know, and then when this starts to clear, you know, then you can start speeding the water up to the tank and flush it out fast. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to leave this light behind it, and we're going to let this thing flush for a few minutes. You can see it's very full, ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and, since I kind of know what I'm doing here, I'm going to turn the water on a little more. So before too long, it should start to clear up. We did pour some bleach inside the tank, so all the oxidized iron's coming out. You know, it's you know, all the nasty stuff's coming out of the tank too. So although this line's not really brown, this customer doesn't have a lot of iron in the water. But you know, this is typical for starting up the neutralizer after you've serviced it. So you got to be patient. Don't speed things up. You know, don't be in a hurry. You're going to regret it. So I'll just hang this back here. That'll be the simplest thing to do. There you go. You can see it's starting to clear now. There you go. See, it's starting to clear up very quickly now. So you can speed the water back up. So we've got full pressure going to the system. You might get a little bit of mineral coming out when you first start it up. You know, that's not unusual. You know, that's why when you're in this line of work, you got to know how to fix that. So you can see it's gotten kind of cloudy again because I turned the water on full blast. You see how it's kind of gotten dark again. Not real dark, but kind of dark. You know, once every 3 years, you know, this is what you need to do for your customer. If not for yourself, I kind of doubt you're going to want to service or neutralizer yourself this way. But you never know your capabilities. You know, give it a try. You never know, you might be able to do it. But better know what you're getting into, because you might be without water until you have somebody come over to fix your problem. Now you see it's cleared back up again. Pretty good. So it's cleared up pretty quickly now. So I'm going to go ahead and put it into fast rinse. So right now the water's coming this way. It's backwashing, it's coming out, it's going down the drain. So really the water's coming in. It's going down the tube that I showed you earlier, right here. It's a little dark in here now, but here's the tube. So the water's coming in, going down the tube, coming up through all the material, coming up through the valve and out the drain. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put it in fast rinse. And in fast rinse, it's going to reverse the flow of the water. Now you see it's settled down just a little bit. I'm going to put it into fast rinse. Whoops, went a little too far. Fast rinse. So I'm going to put it into fast rinse, and now the water is coming in, going down through all the material, all the way down to the bottom. Same flow as it would be if it was in the service mode. And then it's coming up the tube, So the water is going down through all the material, going in through the basket, coming up the tube, and then out the drain, and then into the septic system. So, you know, this is what the system would normally be doing on its own when it goes through a cycle. A cycle takes about 2 hours, but you can see it's settled back down to about here in fast rinse. So I think we're just about done. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights back on and put the cover back on, plug the electrical back in. Going to set the time, and we're going to be done. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick and focus the camera on the valve to show you how to do that. And here we go. Okay, I want to show you quickly how to set the time on one of these. Okay, here's your time clock. First of all, of course, you want to go ahead and plug it in. It plugs in right here in the back. There you go. So this is what this is a 24-hour clock. Okay, and it's 24 hours and it goes counterclockwise. You can see where it says midnight there and noon there. Okay, and what you do, you pull this out and rotate this around, and right now we got about 4:30 in the afternoon. So we're going to go ahead and set that pointer to 4:30 in the afternoon, and that's all you got to do. The machine will do the rest. Right here you have the pins that are pulled out and pushed in. Okay, I have this system backwashing once a week, so I have one pin pushed in, and that's the day it's going to backwash. If you have highly water that's got a lot of sediment in it, well, you know, you can do every other day, you know, whatever you want to do, but you know, it wears out the valve, so don't do any more than you have to do, because that'll affect the longevity of the valve. Of course, the valve can be repaired, but there's no sense of doing it any more than you have to, because it's going to waste water. So the best thing to do is once a week or maybe twice a week. You know, for this particular application, once a week is all we're going to do. So that's how you set the time on an Auto-Trol valve, and I think that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid back on, and that's going to do it. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. This is Scott Handy, and you can watch our website for any more information at ifixh2o.com. Again, that's Mr. Water Professional Water Treatment at ifixh2o.com.